heroes are up. We'll see whether or not that is the case. But this does give them great ways of fighting. All 4 heroes can buy space for the Medusa. They've got great team fight coming out, great single target control with a Bat Rider. So you've got a solid way of making off this lineup. For GEEK Fam, they do know what's out there. They have last pick. They can close out their draft with something to kind of punish this. I wouldn't be too upset if they actually did go for something like, say, an OD for the Medusa, although that can be tricky to run in this case, but it can do a lot of work up against this lineup if they opted for it.
Find out, GEEK Fam, they only have 10 seconds left for this. It's gonna be... Okay, they go down the Dazzle route. We've seen this hero popping up quite often, but I believe that will be a core Dazzle, though only time will tell. It still could be... No, it is going to be the core Dazzle by Cuckoo. Interesting. Zephyr on the pos for Enigma, and apparently Carl is indeed going back into that mid Beastmaster. Yeah,
I think this is a solid lineup from GEEK Fam. You have to remember that the minus armor from the Dazzle works really well with Weaver. You've got a great aura in the Beastmaster to continue to force that push out, and you know, it's a very fast lineup to come online after you go through the laning phase. That's the roughest time for GEEK Fam. Boom. They've got much more stable curves in terms of power. The distribution should be a bit easier to work out. And you still have a greedy support. It does look like we are looking at the High Ember Spirit making an appearance here. So you do have the poor Bat down mid. I think that's how they're going to be running it. That's not going to be too great for the Beastmaster. You have ways of clearing out that wave, and Remosel will be on that Medusa.
We'll go into it very, very soon. Game number 2. Boom Esports, their only option here is to get a draw going, and GEEK Fam, of course, still have the opportunity to try and 2-0 the side of Boom Esports. Sure to be a rather electrifying game going into this. We'll have to keep a close eye out on Raven, see what kind of item build he does go for on that Weaver. And even Carl, really, how's he going to lane it up against this Medusa? I'm just shocked that they actually put the Beastmaster mid in this kind of situation. Unless they are going to let the Medusa go safe lane instead, Mikoto is on the Bat Rider, so perhaps that is the objective here. I'm sure we'll be seeing some lane switches going on.
Yeah, it is going to be rather rough for Boom either way. I think the early aggression from GEEK Fam is going to make it really hard to find a space for the Medusa, so you've got to be on point with maintaining map control, and that's going to be the name of the game. It does look like Mikado is going to head down mid, so earlier prediction was right. They are just going to toss that Bat up against the Beastmaster, and probably not the best of times for Carl. Mikado can just napalm spam and Firefly down the wave, and he can dip into the jungle, so not going to be a shutout lane for Carl, but he should still be able to find his own farm as well.
Seems like Boom Esports really want to try and protect Dreamcell on that Medusa, just throwing him down to the safe lane, making sure he's going to be able to secure that farm. Boom, again with that support Ember. May start off with another tri-lane here, but this time around up against the actual safe lane of the side of GEEK Fam. Maybe just focusing down Raven rather than Cuckoo this time around. I guess you have to still be careful of the Dazzle, but it's not quite as necessary to shut the Dazzle down quickly, more so than it is for the Necrophos last game.
Yeah, I think early farm Dazzle is somewhat scarier though. Like, you do have lower cooldowns on your sustain, and if you do allow it to hit 18, then you're never going to be stopping that constant sustain.
Raven tries to go for a sneaky boundary and swipe. He's going to get punished for this. FBZ dishing out quite a lot of damage there with Hyde. Raven won't have Sakuchi again for another second. He will eventually get out, but that is going to be a lot of regen he has to burn through to get back his HP. Gives him the orchestra hit.
Not right.
Yeah, just probably gonna have to burn through a fair bit, as you mentioned. Zephyr on the Enigma up top with Weaver. That's not the strongest laning duo. I think Zephyr is going to focus more on denying the wave out. Does get a couple of good denies already, and just try to find some farm in the jungle.
It's pretty standard stuff for this pause for Enigma. Just gonna deny creeps over and over again. Find his own farm. Hyde, of course, can just follow him down most of the way on the Ember, though. That's the thing, right? Like, Hyde's just going to continuously follow Zephyr and just try and soak the XP away from this Enigma. And that's generally how you beat them out. Of course, he can always just come back and try to make sure Raven doesn't have a good time. That is a Weaver. But the likelihood is you're not going to be able to lock him down long enough to actually take him out. Although I say that, he does Sakuchi through and get caught out by FBZ, and now Raven may actually be dead. There is a Sleight of Fist available, and Hyde does get the first blood on the Ember.
Yeah, it's a nice little start for Boom. This is probably the better target to shut down. It's just that every single time you let Raven have a free run, the investment pays off and his farm gets out too big. So the constant pressure up top is probably going to pay off a bit better.
Bot lane, however, Dreamer saw it's a lot of damage being dealt early on, and he does go down. The combination of Poison Touch and the Maledict, I kind of didn't even consider that, but that is a lot of tick damage that gets dealt over the Medusa. A bit of time, but even so just then, he just blew up.
Yeah, it's not very safe for Dreamosol, and that is one of the weak points of the Medusa, right? Level 1 to 2, probably even level 3, just a bit lackluster in how much sustain you can get. So it's going to be a while for Dreamosol to feel pretty safe in this lane.
Kodo gonna burn down Carl. This is kind of what I was worried about for Carl in that mid lane. He's gonna have a tough time. Every time he gets a few sticky napalm stacks off, he's just gonna firefly over that Beastmaster. We saw this yesterday in a different game altogether. There's not really much these melee cores can do about that. Like, you can buy the wand, and that's great, but ultimately, once the firefly is on top of you, you are probably gonna die.
Yeah, again, it's just going to be a runaway lane for Mikado. I think Carl has to be really careful about how much he bleeds out, not only with his own deaths, but say his creep summons as well. Every single pick-off for Mikado is just going to accelerate that Bat Rider.
Bit of a sneaky act here on the Dazzle. Poison Touch out on Dreamcell. Wyman's trying to break the gap here to be able to get that paralyzing cast off, and now the Maledict, and they will actually get through all the mana of Dreamcell. Some really clever stuff out from GEEK Fan, but now the tips come back Wyman's way. He probably will die here on the Witch Doctor, or maybe not. He's still running, but no, they will have plenty of damage output. Kescute with the Splinter Blast be enough. Cuckoo does still survive on the core Dazzle. You see Dreamcell, he literally has 0 mana left.
Yeah, it's a hard time for Dreamosol to sustain that lane. I think they're going to have to invest in a lot of early stacks for the Medusa to clear out, because this lane, he is not farming. I mean, even if they're finding these kills, it's coming at the cost of Dreamosol's last hits.
Raven doing a lot of damage over the FBZ. Swashbuckle out from FBZ. Raven trying to go for this kill. It's very, very close, but he does inch out in the end. That's one thing you can do with the Weaver. You can be very, very aggressive, especially if the offlane has been left alone like that. There is a lot of focus right now from Boom Esports to just try and protect up Dreamcell on that Medusa. So that leaving that Pango alone, he is going to suffer like this.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy for FBZ to apply that continuous pressure. He needs a lane partner. And the fact that this is not being punished up top means that Zephyr as well on the Enigma just gets free reign over two jungle camps, two jungle areas.
Radiant are scanning.
That is true. Exactly what he's doing. He's just free farming the triangle of the Radiant side. They do scan him out, so we should see a rotation now from Hyde. He's kind of ignored Zephyr for a long time, but will finally make his way back in, and we are going to have a bit of a pause now from Cuckoo.
Ah, of course.
1k ping.
Standard. Very standard for Southeast Asia.
Dire are scanning.
Hyde's just going to chase Zephyr out of his jungle. And, well, Kodo might actually be able to pick up the kill here. Should be able to. In fact, he goes back for the runes, does get an arcane rune, but now Raw comes out from Carl. That's not what you want. So Zephyr more than happy to die if it's going to mean Carl finds a return kill on that Bat Rider.
Not the way you trade there for the side of Boom, and in the end, GEEK Fam is still finding what they want. They're getting a lot of early aggression out. They've given themselves a lot of space, and they're behind by 1 kill, but they have really put a dent in Dream Cells farm. It doesn't even compare to how well Raven is doing up top.
That it doesn't. 43 last hits, 44. Just farming like a madman. Hasn't really decided yet whether he is going to go into that Diffusal or Deso build. Trying to wait it out, get those treads up first and make the decision. Dreamer Soul still trying to catch up on the Medusa. Of course, he probably will have a lot of stacks to go back to later on, assuming that GEEK Fam have not taken them, although Whiteman gets blown up now. Dreamer Soul picking up a nice kill on that Medusa. This is all he wants. He just wants to keep hitting creeps. Doesn't want to be disrupted on that Medusa. He'll have a bit of peace now.
Yeah, they've got to maintain the presence of these two supports though. So Kez, Cute, and Hyder are spending a lot more time bot. And this is the only real way for Dream Cell to even have presence here. So it is going to come at the cost of top. They're going to have to find a way to deal with Raven later on because he's free farmed as well.
Raven. Start rotating around now. He'll farm up the triangle for the Radiant side. Kodo does have that level 8 now with an arcane rune, still with the lasso. Love to try and get a quick kill for himself. Gets another regen rune now, and Raven going to show himself mid lane. Be a great opportunity here for that lasso to come out. Chains does land. Sakuchi was already there, and Makoto, he can't break the gap. So rotations in from Boom, not really paying off. Now the Firefly will show Makoto. And Raven will happily just stand by his T1 tower and just keep securing that farm. Absolutely no reason to move away from that tower.
Yeah, I'm surprised they've left an entire lane free. There are creeps up top, and FBZ will finally farm it out, but that's a lot of downtime where just one part of the map was completely ignored.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Bottom lane, big group up here from GEEK Fam. Kez the hide in that sneaky little tree spot. But Cuckoo seems to be where something is wrong. Gonna run his way in. I believe he did just scout him out, but the Arctic Burn will allow him to fly into the corner of that tree line and just TP away. It's not gonna save this T1 bot tower. Carl with the rotation will secure it with his team. Cuckoo's going to have that Necro 1 book soon as well. And that does mean you're going to have at least 2 Necro books. No, make it 3. So GEEK Fam going for the classic library strat. Having 3 books up.
Dire's top tower.
I love the strat, John. It's very hard to keep up with. Because you just keep throwing those units onto the towers. And it's hard to keep them out as well because the person clearing them out can kill themselves on those red units.
Yeah, it's a lot of potency coming out from GEEK Fam, and that should help them accelerate and widen their lead. the one thing with Boom as well, it's like they can't even trade well. You had 3 heroes up top.
Radiant's bottom
That top
tower
tier
is
one,
under attack.
they don't really do. They don't do it fast enough.
Never refuse gold given.
Now the bot lane. It's not being pushed in as well. Cuckoo, feeling no necessity to back out here. Makoto, however, will TP in with some friends, but Carl is ready with the Roar. They'll see the extra TPs. Swashbuckle forward. Cuckoo should definitely just be dead. He doesn't go for the shallow grave. Does stick charge up, but it's all too late for that grave to come out. And even if he did, they were backing off anyway. But now GeekFam bringing Raven in. But no, Raven will get back to farming. He has queued up that Desolator, so he's not bothering with the Diffusal Blade. And you know, if you are going 3 Necro Balls, it's not like you're gonna need the Diffusal anyway, because you're planning to finish the game a lot faster than a Medusa can be online anyway.
Yeah, I don't really blame Raven for going that route. It's just a lot more utility as well for the push, right? You're going to be dropping the armor of the towers. That's going to benefit all of the summons as well. So the objective melting does speed up on top of that.
Mid lane, slowly being sieged here by Cuckoo. He's just gonna send some units in, but right now at that level 1 mark, you don't want to just give them away. So, of course, would love the free gold for himself. Top lane. Bit of a play here onto FBZ, but he'll easily just be able to roll out of there. And they're actually turning around. Lasso is going to be out of Zephyr. He does have the black hole if he wants to try and commit, but he won't. He'll just walk out of there while Raven will go in by himself. Dust will be pumped by FBZ, and that'll force the time lapse out from the Weaver. And ultimately, both sides will get away with their lives intact, just barely. Zephyr, I believe he was on about 100 HP while he was walking out.
And all of these small skirmishes does mean that certain parts of the map are opened up. Dreamo Cell down mid has not been pressured, so the Medusa now does have that Mask of Madness. This does speed up the farm, and if GeekFam just allows this to happen, then Dreamo Cell might just end up being a bit too farmed up to deal with.
Chains up on Carl. Carl's thinking about throwing out the Roar, but his units are doing so much work anyway. Hyde is completely out of mana, but luckily he does get himself out. Again, while you're focusing on that bot lane, there is a bit of an issue here in mid, as Cuckoo is still just trying to force in that tier 1 tower. They're really making Boom Esports just follow the side of GeekFam across the map. And on the brighter side, though, that is buying Dreamersoul a lot of space here on the Medusa. He's just up to that Mask of Madness now on Medusa and can just keep freely farming into the Manta. But GeekFam, they want to just continue being aggressive and try to get this Radiant jungle away from that Medusa. So now the focus will be onto that bot tier 2 tower. Death Lord going to be out right now on Kescute with the Melodic. He might just tick out through the Cold Embrace. No, it won't be quite enough damage. He will survive for now.
Oh.
And no, never mind. He does die afterwards. He ate a Tango, but it just wasn't enough. And they are waiting for another target. In fact, they see Hyde. Paralyzing cast going to bounce once.
Oh, man.
FBZ. He does it now, but now the Roar on FBZ. That's the one they wanted. And the Black Hole is going to be there on the Ember Spirit. Hyde, can you run it out of there a second time? He can, but Raven, he will happily dive the tier 3 tower for this and just time-lapse back. And that tier 3 tower is going to go down so quickly as well.
Yeah, it's shrinking really fast for Boom now. GeekFam has been really on point with the push. So the locations for Dreamo Cell to farm up in are shrinking. He does have the Yasha up, is saving up for the Manta. That's not quite going to be enough. Once the Manta's up, you are looking for more items. Still, it is a start. It's just that it is feeling like they are losing a bit too much control on the map.
Raven showing up mid as well. Probably wants to try and force in that tier 1 mid tower. There is going to be a sneaky smoke out of Boom though. Going up towards the north of the map, they should have Zephyr here on the Enigma.
Dire are scanning.
No, they're actually going to loop around through the mid lane. Trying to find somebody else.
Is under attack.
Hoping that GEEK Fam will try to defend that T1 mid. It's just not the case though. It seems as though they're just happy to let it go.
A golden thread.
Now Wyman does get spotted out,
Has fallen.
taking boundaries away from Boom Esports, but he will get lassoed up now. Will go down to the Firefly damage of Makoto. Does try the death ward just in case he can find a counter kill. It will not be the case, however.
I appreciate the optimism, but does still end up with a bounty. I think that's still something for GEEK Fam to be happy about. They do still maintain a 4K lead, despite going 7-6. So, despite all the farm you're seeing on Dreamocell, the rest of GEEK Fam are doing a lot better than the equivalent Boom ID heroes, and that can cause issues. Like, you take a look at Carl, he has that level 2 Necro books and has the Dominator as well, so the pushes can fly a lot faster. You're also just inching closer. In fact, I believe that is the Desolator up, yeah, on our Weaver, so Raven is going to melt these towers now.
Yeah, he is certainly going to do so. TP's in from the side of Boom Esports.
Radiant's middle
They do
tower
deny off that T1. Boom. Still seemingly happy to try and take a team fight here, but GEEK Fam, not quite ready yet. I say that though, Zephyr has brought a Blink Dagger up on the Enigma. It's on the way. Perhaps now we see a quick smoke come out from GEEK Fam.
Yeah, it is going to be really potent, that blink black hole. We've seen that multiple times now. The early blinks from the Enigmas, and they can give you a big advantage. Zephyr is still about 20 seconds away from the cooldown though, so there's still going to be some downtime. But if you look at the other items coming out, you've got the mech up on Cuckoo, so the sustain for GEEK Fam is just that much harder to deal with.
Getting there. GEEK Fam grouping up. Smoke gonna be there. Boom Esports still grouped up as well. They do have the Mantra up on Dreamocell. And as well as that, the Blink is now up on Makoto. Now that could be perfect timing. GEEK Fam do get scanned out here. Hyde will go on to Wyman, but will eventually surrender it out. They go through the triangle. Mango Tree is spotting Raven right now, but he's trying to bait him. Makoto will take the bait, but no one's ready for it. He's near dragged away. He has the time lapse. Now Wyman out with the cast, getting the Raw being committed. There are a lot of heroes groups now with the Stone Gaze. It's way too good from Dreamocell. He starts melting them. Green Man Black Hole comes down, but do they have enough damage? It looks like they might. Makoto drops, as well as the Pangolier, but Dreamocell is still scot-free safe. Raven trying to go after the Ember. He will find the Ember. The buyback will be up from the Wyvern as well, but ultimately they do not kill off the Medusa.
Yeah, it was a tough fight for GEEK. It looked like the good initiation and bait, but then they fought around a ramp facing the Medusa, so a lot of value for Dreamocell to just kind of man up there. And despite losing more heroes, Boom did find a lot of kills on Dreamocell. I think they're still happy about that sort of trade, because this is accelerating the build-up into the Scotty, and it's at that point where the Medusa really does start to take control of the game.
Getting close. GEEK Fam may have to think about a Roshan soon if they really want to try and finish this game out. Time is a ticking. Wyman. A lot of damage up from Dreamocell. Now the Flame Break going to be there as well. Going to be enough, but smoke in from Boom Esports, and they're going to run straight back into that Witch Doctor. So Wyman, again, Death Ward with the Paralyzing Cast, will do a bit of damage there to Hyde. He'll get caught and braced up, and now Makoto trying to find Cuckoo on that Dazzle. Firefly will get some superior vision, and it looks like they are eventually going to catch the Dazzle out. No need to commit the lasso.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Just burn him alive and eventually go back into that top tier 2 tower. However, at the bot lane, there was a bit of a push going on here from Raven, but eventually the Glyph is forced down and he will back out as well.
Yeah, it's
Dire's top tower.
nice little pickup for Boom. They have managed to grab more control on the map. This gives them a lot more leeway to find forward farm with Dreamocell, whereas GEEK Fam, you know, they haven't really progressed in terms of chipping away at the tier 2 mid, even tier 1 top.
Yes, Q. In trouble. Gonna die very quickly, and Raven wants to go on Makoto. There is a lasso available. Makoto sticking around trying to get the bounty room. Will eventually just back out of there. GEEK fan. They don't have that black hole up again yet. They need another 50 seconds. Boom. Still have time to drag this out. Roshan gonna be the target here for GEEK fan. Very important one as well, because if Boom Esports did find this Roshan, it could be rather problematic for this Dire side. Boom may opt not to fight, but you'd rather just try and go for it. FBZ, Lasso gonna be there straight on the Beastmaster. Trouble being stunned up now with the Stone Gaze as well. Just so much control, and nobody's coming in to help. The rest of GEEK fam, unwilling to fight in the Stone Gaze, will let their mid Beastmaster die, and now Dreamers are going back in, but Raven wants to take the fight now without that Stone Gaze, throws out the Swarm, Melodic there on Dreamer Cell. He does start losing a fair bit of mana, but ultimately will be able to walk away just fine. FBZ gonna swashbuckle in. Boom, definitely in the lead in this team fight, but it's a very long team fight. White will now die as well, and boom, might be a free Roshan for them.
Yeah, they can certainly just go.
Yeah, they're not giving this up, GEEK fam. They're going back in. The Bunk will give vision. Roshan getting very, very low now. Carl's still not around. They'll dust up Raven. He doesn't have time lapse, so it might be too risky to try, and he isn't going to bother. He will back out, and that is a huge deal for Boom Esports. Denying that Aegis off, taking it for Dreamer Cell. That is really game-changing.
They've got a lot more leeway now to put Dreamo Cell in front. A lot of the damage has been flying out from him, a lot of the control as well. So having the Aegis does mean you have a lot more presence. I like the switch out from Dreamo Cell as well. From the Scotty into the Lincolns. Just opting to stay a lot safer. Doesn't want to be easily pinned down. And this should give Dreamo Cell again that forward presence they're looking for. GEEK fam, they need to wait for a couple of items to come out. I do believe we are just about to hit Raven's BKB. That's going to be really important to allow him to ignore pretty much everything that comes out from Boom except for the Winter's Curse and the Lasso. So that's the only things he has to worry about afterwards. And Mikado.
Trouble, Zephyr. Kodo got close for the Lasso, but not quite close enough. Boom Esports starting to maintain control of that Dire side jungle. Yeah, I think we got that mid-tier 2 tower.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Because with that Aegis, you feel very safe to do so. And now, especially with that Lincoln Sphere, you feel even safer.
Visibility.
It's going to be very hard to make a jump on this
Dire
Doocer.
are scanning.
You do really rely on that roar of Carl to make that happen.
Oh.
Try and sneak in, hide. It's going to be the first one spotted out, but he gets a nice line of his chains, and now FBZ, Rolling Thunder is perfect. They get a lasso off as well onto that Beastmaster. In fact, Raven, he was the one caught. He does end up dying. Carl is falling low as well. They are also going to find the Dazzle Cuckoo goes down. He commits raw and does get at least the Batrider, but Boom Esports are going to be absolutely fine with that. A 3-for-1 trade, and it might be a 4-for-1 soon, as Hyde is looking for his next victim. Great chains up onto Whiteman. Again, the Death Lord out. Hyde will actually probably die this time around. Maybe a bit too overly excited there on the Witch Doctor. And, oh, it's still going. Zephyr still there on the Enigma, but eventually we'll just walk out. And Boom just want to secure the tier 2.
It's going to be really easy for Dreamo Cell to start ticking away from it. Not as fast as GEEK fam still. That's one thing GEEK fam does have a lot better is that push potency. But, you know, Boom has managed to claw that lead back from a 5k disadvantage to just about 1k behind GEEK fam. And it is starting to shape up here for Boom. Their initiations are coming online. The damage from Dreamo Cell is getting very hard to deal with. You do have the BKB on Raven. He had that in the last fight. He just never got to use it because of Boom's great initiation. So he has to kind of be preemptive, but also really aware of where FBZ, of where Mikado and Kezcute are. because those are the only things that kind of hold him down when he does commit that BKB.
Bot lane. Malithus going to be put onto Kescute, and those Necro units just going to chase him down. Does have the cold embrace, so it should be fine. Meanwhile, Makoto chasing down Carl. Raw is going to be committed, but he's being controlled off. He does get the Bat Rider kill, but it may cost him his life, and we have another disconnection. Dreamer Soul having some issues on the Medusa. Does disconnect. Carl should indefinitely just be dead, though. He does not have any help around.
Yeah, that's bit unfortunate timing. You take a look down bot as well. Kescute did have to commit the Winter's Curse to kind of bail himself out. We'll see whether or not that will last long enough.
Carl being controlled up here on the Beastmaster does go down. Kescute is just kind of flying through the tree line right now. He has Arctic Burn in 5 seconds. He'll be fine. Only thing is he doesn't have a TP, so he's going to have a long walk back, and he's going to be hiding for a while. GEEK fam, if they waste their time searching that long, it's not going to bother Kescute that much. One might actually run straight into it. They look at each other like, what are you doing here? Melody, Death Ward going to be there. Kescute will fly over the trees, but now Zephyr, knowing where he is, can break that tree line down, and eventually will be able to secure the kill for the side of GEEK fam. But now Dreamer Soul has Zephyr cornered. He will TP, but the Stone will be there in time, and he will secure the kill on that pulse for Enigma.
Yeah, Dream Assault's starting to be a massive issue. Like, with those kills, he's really accelerating into that butterfly. Has enough gold to at least buy out the Eagle Song and the Talisman if he so opted to. And this is the point where Medusa gets crazy. You just gave too much space to Dream Assault to farm up, and now he's gonna be a massive issue. You take a look at Raven going straight for the MKB, preempting that butterfly. But it's not going to come out fast enough.
I don't think we've been able to close the gap on Raven. That's one of the big issues. Raven, but rather Dreamer Soul. One goes down again, and Boom Esports just looking stronger and stronger as time goes on. It's just every time they try to make the play onto Dreamer Soul, he just uses Stone Gaze and just stands there. Well, with a 7k net worth lead in front of everyone else, just gonna go for that Eye of Skadi next. Seemingly nothing to stop this man. He hasn't even hit level 25 yet.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Now the T3 tower.
Is under attack.
Yeah, it's it was GEEK fam on the aggressive in terms of a push earlier on. They did go kind of all in with a lot of Necrobooks as well.
Yeah, Zephyr being caught out. Rolling Thunder gonna come through. Shallow Grave gonna be there from Cuckoo, but Zephyr ultimately will definitely die. The godlike streak now for Dreamer Soul. Behind though, Carl comes in with the Roar straight onto FBZ. That Pangli going to be in trouble. The swashbuckles away. Now the Stone Gate. Dreamer Soul catches out Raven through the BKB. Now the Flame Break.
Oh no.
And yeah, he's going to get burnt by that Firefly. The Black Hole does come out from Zephyr, but he is very close to falling, and he will go down eventually. Dreamer Soul though also falling here. Raven, can he do the job? The Shallow Grave is there. He time lapses just in the nick of time, but he cannot finish off the Medusa. And Dreamer Soul finds an Ancient Stack. Well, that's nice.
And the tier trees. Perfect timing.
Perfect timing indeed. He even gets a Paladin Sword for himself. Just in case.
Oh man, that was really scary for our Enigma though. He blinked right in and got frozen. Just managed to get that commit a lot earlier in the fight. I think it would have been a lot different, but because of that, they're going to lose their tier 3s and probably set a racks.
That appears to be true. Dreamer Soul just going to take it by himself. He knows they're not going to defend. Just can't afford to right now. They'll have to regroup as a team, GEEK fam, and try to make something else happen here. They did spot out Raven forcing in that mid wave. So he does connect through the BKB, of course. Raven should be able to just time-lapse out of this, though. They don't really have the follow-up damage yet. They have to... nice bash through the swashbuckle. That'll force out the time-lapse. They are still trying to surround this Weaver. Raven will be fine. He will get out of there.
Yeah, it's a good waste of time. That does take some big ults away. Not the longest cooldowns anymore, now that we're at the half-hour mark. And speaking of, Boom now has the 5k lead. Although Whitemon.
Wyman, Death Ward again being caught out. There's Winter's Curse in the backline somewhere. There it is. Raven trying to chase down Kescu. Dreamersaur is around. Nice cold embrace to delay that. Makoto, however, does die to Carl. Now Boom Esports the one that need to back off.
Yeah, it's not quite the best trade. It was fairly split up. You take a look at Dreamosel now, Mike. Has the Satanic going into the Divine, so just wants to go into that point where Medusa is basically unstoppable.
Divine Rapier. Very, very nice.
Oh, but you take a look at Raven as well. Divine queued up.
Great minds think alike. Why not?
Ooh.
2 Divines. Can't say no to that. I think that is the only option, right, for Raven. He needs the True Strike.
Yeah.
Through the MKB. Just go for the Divine. You're lacking damage anyway onto Dreamersaur right now. Just get as much as you can get.
Yeah, it's their safest bet. Well, safest is a risk, but this is what happens when you kind of commit to that Necrobook strat. You just don't get enough done if you don't clear the objective, so GEEK Fam needs a bit of a bounce back. They have balanced the net worth advantage of Boom back to 1k. So it has been a constant swing from both sides. Still, they are clumping up bottom mid. They want to try to find something.
Dreamersaur moving his way in. We're about to hit that level 18 mark on Cuckoo as well for that final level on Bad Juju. Still doesn't really have the Guardian Greaves, but he could afford it in about 100 or 200 gold. Boom Esports, however, smoke up towards the north. They will miss out on a kill. Was, I believe, Zephyr, but he just TP'd out of there. No, in fact, it wasn't Zephyr. GEEK Fam is going to continue forcing in that bot wave. Raven getting very, very close now to that Divine Rapier timing. I think they're just literally going to wait. No, never mind. Roar in straight onto Makoto, but once they see the Medusa, that'll be enough.
Yeah, it's hard to commit. They smoke up, though. Zephyr does have the Ags. They want to reveal that Blink Black Hole with the Ags upgrade now.
A lot of damage. Try and find the backlines. He is going to run straight into Kescu. Kescu, of course, does have the Cold Embrace to survive this damage. Thought about getting the win. Bissell is out from FBZ with the Rolling Thunder and the Lasso. Shallow Grave will be there from Cuckoo, but is it enough time? It is. He will time lapse, but there's the Winter's Curse now coming out. Raven needs some help, but Stonegaze now from Dreamersaur just locking him in, though another Shallow Grave.
What?
Just in the nick of time, Raven, can he survive through this? No, he will go down. Zephyr does get a black hole off, but who's going to do your damage? Raven, he's brought back, but it's all too late. Zephyr's going to die. They do still TP in Raven. Sneaking up from behind. Wyman, Melodict onto FBZ. Swarm will come out. Dreamersaur still chasing down Cuckoo. Raw there from Carl onto Makoto. Cuckoo just TPing away. He does actually get out of there. Makoto does die. Carl will also die in the process. Meanwhile, FBZ is still going. Raven is still just messing around with the side of Boom Esports, but this could cost him. He can't afford to die back right now. He does find the kill onto Kescu, and now we do actually have our first Divine Rapier coming up from the Medusa, but Chains and Lasso gonna be there on Raven. That's gonna be a dieback. And when you've got a Divine Rapier and a Medusa as well as a dieback on your POS 1, you know where they're headed.
Oh yeah. It's gonna be hard to defend this one for GEEK Fam. They're not gonna have Black Hole for another minute, and that's probably more than enough time for Boom to clear out that high ground, or even just go for the Throne.
Dire's middle tower.
So it's going to start on the tier 3 tower, not going to rush the throne, but the pings are out for the tier 4s.
Dire's middle
Bounty's
tower
being placed on Cuckoo's head. Does now buy out the Guardian Greaves. That's maybe not really going to help them out though until Raven's back up.
Dire's middle tower.
How do you delay this if you're Geek fam? They smoked up,
Dire's
going in from
middle tower
behind.
has fallen.
Black hole up in 25 seconds, but that tier 4 tower is dead. They're going to find a secondary now. They do go after the Wyvern, so Kesku is going to die, but they give him a bunch of tips. They know the game's over. They're just going to try and make a bit of a laugh before it all ends, and that'll be it. Kesku ends up dying, but
God.
ultimately Boom Esports does manage to get the draw.
Yeah, it's a close series from both teams, 1-1, really even. I think that smoke break was pivotal for Boom. If they actually did manage to sneak behind, Geek Fam